All right. All right. So I'm gonna do a quick video here on meeting people, particularly for guys. Well, I'm gonna do it in the context of this, but this can actually be used in any context. It comes from a group that I'm in called Evolve Man, and one of the gentlemen has been having a little bit of trouble meeting ladies and wanted to actually improve his meeting lady skills. And it's something that I always really enjoyed to the point where it was really hard for me to get married because I always liked being able to go out and socialize and meet as many women as possible and just kind of understand them, talk to them, and of course, on occasion, maybe more than occasion, pick them up, date them, whatever. But before I really get deep in this, I want you to, if you're a guy watching this right now, please understand that if you start using this technique and you start being around a lot of women and you start having a lot of access to the ability to get them, to persuade them, to get them to go home with you and stuff like that, please use this information with the greatest good in mind. Like, think with your heart as much as you possibly can. I know it's hard to do sometimes. I know that I always didn't do that, and as much as it might have been fun at the time, and I have no regrets for what I've done in my past and all that stuff, and I'm really glad where I'm at. I definitely hurt some people by not being aware of how powerful this kind of stuff is, and I want to just kind of at least put it out there because I'm teaching you it, and I want you to just really think about, use this stuff for good, use this for positive. You know, there's a saying that I heard once that was, you always leave people better than you found them. And it was something I've always tried to live by, not always successful with, but really think about this before you start picking up girls, because the society that we live in, men are so incredibly dominant. We can do so much more and get away with so much more. And not even just from an energetics perspective, but from a physical perspective. And this is actually really important to think about. If you're a guy watching this, you're a lot bigger probably than the girl that you're around. And I don't know if you've ever had somebody that's like 6 inches taller than you try to corner you or like approach you and in a way that might be a little aggressive. It can be very intimidating. You're a lot stronger than the women you're around. You're a lot bigger, and you might know that you're harmless, but they don't, because there was an asshole before you that really took advantage of how much bigger they were than the woman, and tried to persuade them not through words but through fear tactics. And this is like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that guy. You've got to actually kind of reel yourself back, knowing that you are physically that much bigger than a girl. That is intimidating. It's really, really scary for any woman that's out there. So make sure that you show and you lead with the intention that you actually are a good person and know this inside, but come to them and invite them into your space versus going into their space. I've seen this so many times where guys will like block a girl in a corner or at a wall, or put their hands like this, or block them in a booth when they're sitting down. That can be scary because there's no escape path. So always make sure the girl has an easy way out. You actually don't even want to focus at her in like a direct full body like this. That's very intimidating. You turn yourself a little bit sideways and you look over your shoulder, you're actually making yourself smaller to them. If you lean down a little bit, you make yourself closer to their height. So as much as you want to be manly and be broad-shouldered and all this stuff, you've got to start developing the nuances, and you're going to learn how you can work your body depending on who you are and the size you are. I'm not like a super big guy, but you'll be able to figure out the nuances for you. So here's the deal. So I'm going to get right into this now. The first thing you want to do if you want to go out and meet girls, and a lot of them, and you can use this any direction, but this is a very masculine energy way of doing it. You want to go to a place where obviously there's a lot of them, because everything's relative. The hottest girl is always the hottest girl in the bar, right? The hottest girl in the bar is always the hottest girl in the bar. It doesn't mean that she's hot. The most successful person in the room is always the most successful person in the room. Doesn't mean they're successful, right? They're just the most out of that group. So you want to get to like a group, a place where there's going to be a variety, because you have your type and the type of person you want to be with. If there's only one of those girls in that room, you've got one shot, and it's going to make it very, very difficult to just go out there and get it. Not that you can't do it, but when you know there's 3 or 4 options in the room where you're like, you know what, let's see which one I vibe with the best. They all physically are attractive. And let's be completely honest here. You want to be with somebody you're physically attracted to. For men, attraction is like a light switch. Either it's there or it's not. I mean, people can cheat it with alcohol and drugs and stuff like that, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help you find somebody that you can actually connect with, right? So for men, it's like a light switch. Either you like her or you don't. For women, attraction has to build. Usually, not always, but for the most part, this is how it works. It's a bit difference between masculine and feminine energy. Masculine is on or off, and women is gradual building. When I met my wife, I told her who I was and introduced myself, and she said, "That's nice," and kept walking. So it took me about 20 minutes to build that intensity. So, and I probably wouldn't have been able to do it as effectively if I wasn't in a room with other options, because then I might have had some kind of a neediness to me. So definitely go to a place where there's a lot of options for you, as many options as possible. Then what you want to do is you're going to want to circle and assess the room. And this is a very strategic way of doing this, but you're going to kind of walk through intentionally, don't lollygag. Just kind of cruise through like you're doing something important, because you're searching for the woman that you might be spending the rest of your life with. So you want to get a good gauge on what's going on and take a good reconnaissance of the room. So you that are military or police and stuff, this should be really, really easy for you. Anybody that's got any kind of training in this, it's really important. You see who's out there, and you're gonna pick your 3 to 5 individuals. We'll call them targets. But 3 to 5 individuals, women that you're like, wow, that girl is somebody I could put my arm around in pictures and feel good about, because you don't want to get anybody that's not. Let's be completely honest. I mean, beauty is not only skin deep. Beauty is everything about the person, and you've got to be physically attracted to them. If you've ever been with somebody that you're not physically attracted to, like waking up next to them is not a fun thing. You're like, man, and then you kind of end up resenting them for it. At least that's what happened to me. So you want to make sure you find with a person that you're attracted to. Not everybody agrees with this. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna do a really short intro to those 3 to 5 targets. So if they're with a group of ladies, there's different strategies you can use, but what I typically like to do in that scenario is I go for the one, and if there's, say there's 3 girls that you're interested in, and they're all within a group, which is usually how it works, right? Women usually don't travel alone. If they are, that's something to be aware of. It might make things easier, but it also might make it harder down the road, because maybe they don't have any friends, and maybe there's a reason for that. So if they're in a group, typically I won't talk to the one I'm interested in first. It would actually be the one that seemed the most outgoing, the one that seemed the most receptive to meeting somebody. You're going to know this because she's going to have her back to the bar, or she's going to be looking around. She's going to make eye contact. So you want to be able to make eye contact with all of them, but you can go at an angle to the one that you're not necessarily interested in and talk to her first and use a very, very short, brief introduction and just meet them. And there's a strategy behind this because when they know who you are and the girl that you're interested in doesn't know who you are, but then the girl that you're interested in knows that this person knows you, it immediately builds a certain level of credibility and a certain amount of trust. So the moment that you're hanging out with their friend, you didn't approach them, then you can circle back to them as knowing this other person. So you don't want to linger when you do this. You want to get there, do a short intro, go through separate groups, and different women throughout the room. So it actually is going to look, when you're not with the person that you first introduced yourself to, when you go to the next person, you're in a totally different area of the room, and you can say, hey, listen, it was really nice meeting you, but I've got some other people that I'd like to catch up with, but I'm going to pop back here in a little bit. When you leave, you go to this other group, and now it looks like you know everybody in the room if you do this to 3 to 5 groups. And as long as you're cool with them, you're not going to say anything vulgar, don't be an asshole. Just talk to them, and if you need help on like different ways of approaching women, we'll do another video on that. Just tell me if you need like material on that. But an easy way to do it is just to introduce yourself and just say something nice, and try not to say something nice just about something specifically physical that might offend somebody. Instead, just compliment something really simple like their dress, and you can say something about how it's your favorite color. It's gonna be the lamest freaking thing you want it to be, or you could be like, yeah, my friend wears dresses all the time, similar. She's one of my best friends since XYZ time. Make it long, and try to be authentic. Try to find a way to relate authentically. That's true, because they're probably gonna want to meet this person if you actually do get somewhere. Don't lie. It's like an asshole thing to do anyway. So try to find an authentic thing. Like, my friend wears dresses like this all the time, and I always like tell her how great she looks, and I just saw you, it reminded me of her, and I just felt like I had to come over and introduce myself. Women love that stuff. It's like chick crack. So, and then you're nice too. You're not gonna stay long. You got your maybe 3 minutes maximum. You can do it in 60 seconds on that first take, and then you pop over to the next group. When you pop over to the next group, now it looks like you start knowing everybody in the room, and actually you're starting to know everybody in the room. You're starting to know all the angles, and it builds a lot of trust and credibility that other people are accepting to you. So you want to be authentic so that they actually can truly trust you, right? You want to be credible, but if you don't know anybody, nobody knows that you are. So you want to make sure that you pop around and meet enough people so like you're like the life of the party. It may seem intimidating, but it's actually going to get your game so good, your conversation skills so good, that you'll be able to talk to anybody at any time. And you're getting to practice with several different people in a night. And don't like focus on the outcome of like, I just want to take this girl home, or I just want to get this girl on a date, or I just want to close this person. First, get to know this person. Like, make sure that you actually do want to hang out with them, because you don't want to just get laid. Like, I promise, like, you might think that you do, but you don't, because sometimes doing that gets you in a heaps of trouble. So make sure you get to know this person. Leave on a high note when you walk away. Like, it can be as simple as, hey, it was really nice meeting you, and I would love to talk for longer. I'll come back and say hello and check on you throughout your night. If you need anything, let me know. But I've got a few more people I want to check in with, and they might not be people you've even met yet. So you're not lying. You have other people you want to check in with. You're going to see what's actually available. So let's see what else do I have here that I put some notes down for you guys, because I actually wrote some of this stuff down, because it's been a while since I've done this to pick up girls, because I've been married and with my lady for 4 years. So I don't practice it. So now you're going to do this with each group, each one of your targets, and then go find your favorite. Like now some time should have went by, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours. And you're going to go back and you can just tell her like, listen, yeah, I felt so compelled to come back and chat with you. Or if you didn't talk to your target and you only talked to their friend of the target, you can come back and now talk to the person you talked to before, and actually now introduce yourself to the target, the one you really, really liked. Like, you know what? I've been around this whole entire room and I've talked to so many people, but I didn't get to meet you. And I'm so freaking drawn to you. I don't know what it is about you, or maybe you do know what it is. But if you say, I don't know what it is, there's just something about you, I need to get to know you. So tell me what's up with you. They will eat that up. Like that authenticity, and if you can say that with confidence, women love that. It's a very masculine presence. And if she says no, it doesn't matter anyway. If she's like, I'm not interested, like then you shouldn't be interested in her anymore. Because at the end of the day, like if she can't even be that open to have a conversation, then what's the point of, like, you're not gonna want to date somebody like that. You want to date somebody that's fun, playful. So let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much easiest way to sum it up. It's a lot of fun when you gamify it like this, because it doesn't really matter if you meet the woman of your dreams. You end up meeting so many interesting individuals and improving your ability to talk to people of the opposite sex that you're going to get really good at it, and you're going to start to feel really comfortable with it, and you're going to start to feel really confident in all those situations. And then when the right person comes along, person you're really interested in, you're going to be like so on point for her, and you're going to be able to show up in so many ways that you couldn't even imagine if you just met her the first time. It's like nobody wants to go home with a virgin, right? Well, I guess some guys do. No girl wants to go home with a virgin. Women want men that are gonna be men, that are gonna step up, that can talk to them without shaking, that can look them in the eye, that can make a commitment and keep to it, that can keep track of their conversation, that can keep up with them, that can listen to them, that can understand them, that can relate. And the best way for you to be able to do that is to talk to as many women as possible. So that's my 2 cents on my favorite ways of meeting new women and finding amazing ladies. And then what's going to happen is you may or may not get that girl that night. You probably will. After a while of doing this, you probably will, to be honest. It starts coming really easy. Numbers, it's like you do skip over the whole number process. Sometimes you skip over the name process. But what will ultimately happen is if you treat people with respect and appreciation and leave them better than you found them, and to speak to them authentically, they're gonna actually be on the lookout for you to find the right person. You're gonna have to actually turn women down more often than take them home, and that's when that's when you're getting ready to actually get into that serious relationship that's gonna work out for you. So I hope this helps you, and I hope that you meet the woman of your dreams based on something you saw here. So if you have any questions, write in the comments, and I'll come back and I'll make another video, or I'll circle around to them. Have a great day. Cheers.